For years, Nuzlocks have been the way to go for anyone wishing to add difficulty to their Pokemon run. Pokemon faints, it dies, battle mode is on set, level caps for each gym, limited number of Pokemon. By this point, I imagine you know the rules. Now, a Soul Link adds on to the Nuzlocke concept, adapting it for a co-op setting. In a Soul Link, you and your partner's Pokemon are linked. If one goes down, they both go down, meaning you could lose a valuable asset due to no fault of your own, or worse, lose a partner's valuable companion by completely preventable means and having to deal with the guilt. So naturally, it seemed like the right choice for my friend Keira and I, a couple of Nuzlocke babies, to test our Pokemon skills, but also our friendship skills. A month from now, Keira and I will be moving in with one another. This Soul Link is the stress test of our relationship. Keira has been my closest friend for nearly a decade. We have laughed together, cried together, and no matter the argument we get into, our friendship has always prevailed and gotten stronger as a result. But if we can't complete the Unova Pokemon League with our friendship intact, how can I trust them in the space at which I'm supposed to be my most vulnerable? Starry-eyed and naive, Keira and I take our first steps into the Unova region together, officially beginning our Pokemon Black and White 2 Soul Link Nuzlocke. Now, Keira has over 1,000 hours in Pokemon Black and White 2. They know everything about this game.
Are you gonna name yours?
The way you're pronouncing it. Patrat.
Pronouns.
Yeah.
Patrat.
I call it
Patrat.
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 And me, I don't know that much, but my thousands of hours in various JRPGs have left me a quick learner. Whoa, that was such a big level up.
Yeah, it's, kind of a boss that is supposed to be hard when you first find it.
Wait, really? So we were pretty optimistic about our chances on our first Nuzlocke. Feeling smug, we picked out our starters, the pair which would form the backbone of our eventual team, sticking with us through good and bad. Keira chose Snivy, myself Tepig, and from there it was your average fare. We pick up a few early game Pokemon along our way, including a duplicate Swaddle encounter, get introduced to our rival and Team Plasma, and make plenty of jokes along the way. We have officially moved into our 2-bed, 2-bath apartment. We're getting comfortable, took a trip to IKEA, organized our pantry, bought mason jars to use as glasses. The summer sun is gleaming brightly through the window. I wish I had more to tell you about this first hour, but I don't. It was smooth sailing. I make it through Sharon without breaking a sweat as Keira makes what I'm sure was the most optimal move for the battle. The Lillipup was at +2 attack, something needed to be sacrificed in order to win, and the crit was unlucky, totally rational. They were just trying to save Swaddle, the Pokemon 4 times weak to poison moves before the poison gym. We're not out of the game yet. I've got to take some deep breaths and trust in my friend as we communicate and coordinate our next moves. It's time to get sweaty. We will need to invest ourselves to make this house a home. If we're not careful, Roxy could completely end the run. Her Whirlipede is a formidable foe, high in defense with many opportunities to poison and then sweep with Venoshock. Keira and I come to the conclusion that should we wish to make it to Berg, we will need to carefully plan out our Verbank Complex encounter. In both Black and White 2, there is a 25% chance to encounter a Magnemite in the complex. Beyond being a solid Pokemon all around, Magnemite would be especially useful against Roxy, being immune to poison both in status and in attacks. This would virtually remove any threat from Roxy's team. Optimistic, we step into the complex, our win condition appearing 1 out of 4 times. I get the Magnemite, while Keira is less lucky catching a Coughing. Although not the most useful against Roxy, generally this is probably one of our best pairs yet, and we both decide we want to invest in the aptly named Vape-Nash. Keira then learns how counter works on an optional trainer battle, followed by a strategic discussion about which 2 Pokemon to bring into the gym. I present an offer to the table. One that definitely benefits me, but considering how this run has been going, I am looking out for number 1.
I want to bring in my Pidove.
which is
Which
my
one was that?
Flakesi ranch.
Oh Christ.
Or you
I
get to
don't
bring
know how good Lillipup will do.
But after an evolution, it seems like the best course of action. Being the smart Nuzlockers we are, we each teach a Pokemon workup, in the process unconsciously recreating the very Pokemon which killed our starters. I secure my Toxic Badge and then settle in for Kira's bout with the gym. The strategy: buff Herdier using workup to guarantee damage on both Coughing and Whirlipede, all while holding a Pecha Berry, preventing poison. Then bite and hope for a flinch whenever possible.
Bite again. Easy peasy.
Let's go! Let's fucking
It's
go!
Over. Lillipoop for the win.
Lillipoop for the win. Oh my god. An epic win and testament to the learning we have already made in our journey, but it wasn't meant to last. The run quickly became a comedy of errors, a war of attrition, losing more Pokemon than we were catching, losing footage, and any sense of purpose or direction with the script we were writing. Both Kaylin and Keira, the Pokemon ones, and Kaylin and Keira, the real ones, were getting tired. And it became apparent that we couldn't complete our run or even make it to the Elite Four for that matter. Hopeless, we decided our last hurrah would be against Drayden. Winning would be a long shot, but Keira and I actually decided to strategize. Although we knew the run couldn't continue, besting Drayden taught us an important lesson, and for me, served as an important reminder which would motivate the choice to try once again. A Soul Link is a cooperative run. Keira and I were playing alongside each other, but we weren't playing together, working together, or treating our runs as truly linked. When we helped each other, we were able to achieve great results against terrible odds. That night, Keira and I decided we would start a new run, but before then we made some shared to-do lists for our apartment and continued to divvy up tasks in grocery lists. New attempt, new us, new rules. Number 5. Linked Pokemon would share a name or have names which would relate to each other, their bond in the fine print of their birth certificates. And number 6. Gym battles or major story battles would be done one at a time. Although only one person is playing, we're both looking out for the collective benefit of the run. Both Sharon and Roxy went off without a single death, the gym leaders unable to work around our combined backseat gaming mind. Already this run was heading in a more optimistic direction than the last, and it seemed this trajectory would continue, gaining a valuable pair in Verbank Complex. Comers, the powerful Growlithe Magnemite duo, which quickly became a mainstay of the run. Our deathless streak was broken by Burke, the bug-type gym leader, which presented little options for Keira, who lacked the sufficient type coverage to aptly deal with his Pokemon. That being said, this death is a good example of a tactical sacrifice. Losing the Herdier here is a lot less detrimental than other encounters due to the overall mediocrity of normal types later on into the game. So although we lost a Pokemon, Berg was definitely a win in our book. Route 4 gifted us a dual Darumaka encounter, making the temperature in my room officially unbearable but definitely useful against the plethora of steel and ice types carried by Colress and Team Plasma. And in the Desert Resort, we ran into Banana, two ground types which would prove their worth against Eliza's electric types, and later alter the very laws of the universe through Banana Claws, a Nuzlocke rule which would seemingly be willed into existence, but which at the time did not show its face. Skyla would also end up being deathless, and I could talk about that, but that's not very entertaining. So instead I'm going to use Skyla's time to talk about someone I'm very proud of. Fuckers. Considering the very early deaths of our starters in the first run, it is very gratifying to see them make it into their final evolutions this time around. Dare I say we've become slightly attached to these two, which is ultimately the goal of a Nuzlocke. The added rules creating a higher level of stakes. The value of individual Pokemon is exponentially higher than that of a typical playthrough. Keira and I are more than halfway complete the Unova League, and Fuckers is still standing strong, a beacon of our continued cooperation and strategy. Except, I'm lying to you. Fuckers is dead. This is Fuckers' funeral. And not only is it Fuckers' funeral, it is also the funeral of many other Pokemon, all of which we lost between Skyla and Drayden. Considering this stretch of the game was when we began to lose Pokemon rapidly in our last run, Keira and I decide that we need to be a bit more careful than ever when entering Drayden's gym. Dragon is a type with great coverage and generally speaking good stats to back it up, and considering that we are playing games released prior to the inclusion of fairy types, our options to one-up Drayden's team are very limited. We take a break, clear our heads, and formulate the best strategies we can think of. Drayden will not back us in a corner yet again. To rely solely on damage output in this scenario would maybe work, but not without major casualties. So I instead build my strategy around the contrary: love. I have been blessed with women whose beauty has the power to debilitate those who stand in their way. I decide to use this to my advantage, going deathless through Drayden and looking great while I do it. Skarmory's defensive typing and stats render nearly all attacks useless, giving her an opportunity to strut her stuff, setting up 3 layers of spikes after some cheeky flirting. To cover for the possibility of being switched out by a dragon tail, Cummers is her wing gal, supporting her bestie through sheer intimidation and setting the hearts of those she sees on fire, slashing the deadly Haxorus's attack of 138 to a measly 69. These girls are making boys come to the field one after the other just in time to see Barbie. July 21st. On Keira's side, the Canergy is bursting at the seams. Greg has become death with his Ice Fang, which bombs Drayden's team while laying down toxic spikes. Oppenheimer out, July 21st. Upon meeting Marlin, his silliness rubs off on Keira and I a little too strong because we both make a silly mistake in the gym battle, losing 2 Pokemon in a fight which realistically should have been too easy. Although not detrimental, this loss does put a damper on our moods, considering our success against Drayden, and the fact that now the final gym battle can't help build tension towards the Elite Four. Since Drayden, even my writing has become aimless, over-explanatory, and frivolous. It would take some act of divine intervention or a miracle to make finishing the run, the move, and the video worthwhile. In attempting to defeat the Pokemon with which the game is represented, the metaphorical representation of us killing the last of the run's identity, we experience the second coming of Christ, or as we like to call it, Banana Claus.
Oh, it's super effective? What the fuck was that? Banana! That doesn't count. Banana lives.
Yes, it does.
No. Banana
What do you mean, no?
Only after experiencing a loss which could only be described as the straw which broke the camel's back, can the religious figure return to his subjects and assure them of their purpose, assisting them with powers which transcend life or death. All of which is to say, the run has gained its 7th and final rule, Banana Claus. Banana Claus states that in any given Nuzlocke run, should the player desire, a single Pokemon may be given the name of Banana, making it immune to the first and most fundamental rule of a Nuzlocke, the concept of death. As with any good story, the answer to the final challenge faced by the protagonists can be found within the roots of the tale itself. 4 weeks after starting our run, Keira and I sat down and began to strategize, making spreadsheets of type matchups and scouring the Unova region looking for TMs, held items, and move tutors. Similarly to the spreadsheets and searching done for our communal living. To go into details about this planning would be boring and ultimately redundant, considering that they were put to practice immediately after their conception in a way which is much more entertaining and also highlights their skills and weaknesses in practice. Going into the Elite Four, our final roster consisted of Fortnite, Greg, Banana, Sheeps, Stupid, and Butt. A team which you could be sure would pack a punch considering their names alone. First up, Caitlyn. I lead with Fortnite, the Excadrill who's holding a Chesto Berry, allowing me to set up 2 instances of Swords Dance, tripling my attack and leaving the opposing Musharna without a solid option to counter. Excadrill's ground typing nullifies any damage from electric type moves, eliminating Charge Beam. Dream Eater can only be used when the target is put to sleep and is thus prevented via the Chesto Berry, and additionally working in my advantage is the fact that Yawn is a 2-turn move, putting the target asleep at the end of the turn after it is used. Which is all to say, with the Chesto Berry equipped, I have 2 free turns to use Swords Dance, to then consume the berry at the end of the second turn, then using Shadow Claw to knock out each of Caitlyn's Pokemon in a single hit. Cheap, clean, and just what Keira and I were hoping to start off. On Kira's end, the principle is much the same, with them using Banana's Dark typing and ability Moxie to their advantage to sweep through the first of the Elite Four. Next up, Chantel. Keira goes in first, and the fight goes similarly to how you would expect. After opening with some pivot tactics to switch into Banana without taking a brick break, taking advantage of the AI's tendency to always go for super effective moves, Banana blows through her ghost types with minimal resistance. For me, this fight takes a much more defensive approach, stalling out the Coffagrigus to raise Skarmory's attack, speed, special defense, and also setting up 3 layers of spikes. This may seem like overkill, but it was the best option I could see without needing to excessively switch out for each of her Pokemon and risk deaths along the way. Working smarter, not harder, is Greg's thing. Halfway through and no deaths. Now with Grimsley, if I really wanted to, I could copy and paste what I said when commentating the Chantel fight, as Greg once again tanked hit after hit until the other Pokemon simply couldn't battle anymore. Dark typing is extremely defensive, even more so when you consider that there was no fairy type at this point in time, and the overall lackluster bug type, which takes a super effective option off the table. So Greg, it was. And Kira's went about how you expected. When it comes to Marshall, it's time for Sheeps, the Jellicent duo to shine, being used by both Keira and I against Marshall. We utilize its ghost typing, which is immune to fighting attacks, defensive stats, and access to Will-O-Wisp and Psychic, and some well-timed cursed body procs to finish off the Elite Four. In my fighting Marshall, I sadly lose Stupid to an unlucky high jump kick in a Mean Shao mirror match. But out of the 6 we brought in with us, this is the better one of the options to lose, especially considering Iris's team of physically strong and defensive Pokemon, a tough matchup against the Glass Cannon. Together we climb up the insanely long stairs, unsure whether or not this battle will end in triumph or ultimate defeat. Like, although the Haxorus is most scary, I feel like we have to prepare more for the start of the fight, because at the end of the day, if we have Pokemon left at Haxorus, we can sacrifice them.
Yeah. It's true.
It does have, the Druddigon has a Life Orb, and the Haxorus has a Focus Sash.
Oh, that's what it has. It's the focus sash. It's going for a Dragon Pulse?
Probably because it'd do more than a Charge Beam.
Yeah. So she's gonna go for her first full restore. I think she has 3. Or maybe she's not. So much predicting on high.
She'll save them.
Yeah. Hydreigon down. Yeah, there's a Thunderbolt.
Let's hope it doesn't get paralyzed.
You fucking jinxed it. Oh, it's true. Oh my god! What the hell? That's BS.
That's so fucking funny.
It's such BS. What the shit?
Watch you get another.
Swear to God. Okay.
And potential defense.
True.
Lowering.
Serpent.
Heal. Oh, okay.
Her AI for healing's weird. I think it's lower than the other characters. Which she bringing out next? Archeops. Alright. Archeops, I had Jellicent. What is it going to go for with this Archeops? It's
Flying.
right. What can
I'll go for the acrobatics.
can soak up flying? My Jellicent's like kind of low.
I mean, you could always put Umbungus in and just kill it.
Right.
Get a free turn over.
I kind of forgot.
Isn't that the free switch it?
Yeah. Problem is my Jellicent is the thing I was gonna use, and it's like dead. As in.
Well, what if
really
this
low.
Amoonguss lives? Oh, okay.
It did not live. Well, now it's properly dead, so that.
No, I think that does super effective damage.
Yeah. That's the free switch in.
And yeah, so it's either Outrage or Crunch.
Or I could heal. Like take this as a
For what?
For my Jellicent. But I guess.
But yeah, but you want to use this for the rest of the
right, like
thing.
banana.
Don't you?
This is like the banana. Like banana needs to exist. And if I could get, oh my god, it doesn't have an item on it. That's why. In challenge mode, she puts a flying gem on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if she's low enough to do. No.
Oh, that was fun.
Wait.
Strange that the other one did so much.
It's weird.
You outspeed it, right?
I think so. Did I outspeed it there? I wasn't paying attention.
Well,
I do not. Good job, Banana. Good job.
there you go.
Banana, my loves. Wonderful job, Banana. Excellent job, Banana. Okay.
You definitely outspeed this thing. That's probably the only way you're gonna kill it. There you go. And now you're gonna be +2.
I'm also gonna level up.
Yeah. You're gonna get leftovers healing.
Banana claws.
Banana Claus saved us.
It sends out the fucking Haxorus for some reason.
See, look, that's perfect.
No, that's
Unless it
scary.
kills.
Banana. Okay.
And just sack it. Yeah, because it doesn't have anything that particularly hurts Jellicent.
It's dragon dancing.
Kill it! Kill it now!
I hit the Will-O-Wisp.
It's exactly like Lilliput.
For
It's
real.
exactly like Workup.
But scarier. Disabled its earthquake. She's definitely gonna heal now. Yeah, there's the flurry stone. That heals the burn.
Here's the thing. About what are you debating between?
Either Will-O-Wisp or Ice Beam.
Well, an Ice Beam will kill.
Yep,
You move second anyways.
yep.
So the attack's
Oh,
not gonna get
true.
the attack's not gonna be affected by Will-O-Wisp.
Her strongest move is
just
disabled, so
attack.
she can either dual chop or X's, and I resist X's, or so she'll dual chop, or she'll dragon dance. Okay.
Phase.
Fucking die.
There you go. Now you just have one left.
Yes. Hey, bro.
Water.
Real?
Unless
wait.
you don't have a water.
No.
type.
Oh, true.
Now it doesn't have a move to use against you. Oh, I can use Earthquake.
Okay, she's going to full restore again. What happens if I Will-O-Wisp? Oh, she's not going to full restore. What is her AI? Why is it
I don't
like
know.
this? Now she's going to full
Surely she
restore.
will.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
You're discovering your options. Let's go. You beat your first Nuzlocke, yeah.
It's true. That was so what is it? Anticlimactic. She just dies to the burn because she doesn't heal her Pokemon. Finally, Caitlyn too.
Caitlyn too.
Okay. Do I get greedy and go for an X special attack?
I don't know.
I think I might. Because this is so, Sheeps is so good for so many of these.
It's true. I was smart to. Nice. Hydreigon down.
I think Bud's my best bet. It's weak to the ice, but I think it's okay. Would I outspeed it? Let's
You
see.
said it was slow as shit.
I do, I think. Unless I get paralyzed. Okay. I have really high special defense. Come on. Oh! That's okay. Can I live one ice beam?
Maybe?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is Petal Dance like outrage?
Yeah. I don't have a berry on it, but I can always switch. Judgeagon has high attack, low speed. Only thing it can really do for me is run. Okay. I'm gonna
He
use.
has Dragon Tail too.
That's why I'm not gonna buff because it's gonna switch me out maybe. Has okay special defense. Yeah. Cool.
Gone down. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
That'll break the focus sash too.
Nice.
Okay.
What's left?
Archeops and did I kill the Lapras?
Yeah.
And this is it.
And it's weak to ice. The only thing is that, what is it? The thing did a lot of damage the first time it hit me. The acrobatics. Oh my god. And now it's disabled. And you hit the Will-O-Wisp.
That was in
What
case
the
I
hell?
died.
This might be it.
I think it might be. Ah,
And it is. Wow. Flawless.
literally.